Travel Mole TV is honored to have Andrew McEvoy, Managing Director of Tourism Australia, who's flown here to Las Vegas from Sydney to sit on a few panels here at the World Travel and Tourism Council. What's pleased you most about the past 12 months?
Look, we saw a return to growth in terms of inbound numbers, Kieran. It's been a good year. I think the year before global financial crisis, we were flat, no growth, no decline. Last year we had 6% growth in international arrivals. What was particularly pleasing has been the growth out of Asia. China up 24%, Korea up 18%. In fact, Japan was growing up 14% before the recent events of the tsunami and the earthquake. So good growth. Still a bit flat out of the UK and Europe and out of here, out of the Americas, but a lot of great potential. Other great thing last 12 months, we had the Oprah Winfrey Show come down under, make what she called a 4-hour love fest about our country, and that's been broadcast to 70 million people globally. So we think we'll get a lot of benefit down the track out of that also.
You will, and the entire country here was watching it on the lips of every housewife in America, and they wear the pants as far as making a decision on vacations eventually. It's a good investment. Anything that didn't work out so well in the last 12 months?
Look, as I said, like some of the markets weren't quite as good. You know, I think that countries like the United Kingdom, Western Europe and here in the Americas is recovering a little more slowly out of the GFC than perhaps the Asian economies which are closest to us. So I think those countries need a bit of work. We're holding our own, we're gaining some share because I think outbound travel generally out of those countries slowed. Although I can see that here out of the US at the moment, outbound travel is really growing again at great numbers and we're probably not gaining our share. So I think we need to do a bit of work here. We need to up the ante off the back of Oprah with some big campaigns and make that work a lot better.
Okay. I was going to say that in regards to technology, I know Tourism Australia is at the forefront of national tourism organizations using social media. Tell us a little bit about some of the wins you've had in the last 12 months.
Social media is just a part of our DNA now. You know, I don't think we run a campaign without it having a big social media aspect. We now have 1.5 million Facebook fans of Australia. It's the largest destination Facebook fan book page in the world, and it's growing. What we're trying to figure out is how do you commercialise that, because we have this community who love us and want to talk about us, but how do we actually refer them on to the private sector, to the product, to get more business? We have a growing set of Twitter followers. We're in a lot of other social media around the world, Facebook and other things in relevant countries. So we're right into it. It's part of what we do now, and every campaign we run has a social media element.
Well done. The conference here is very much about sustainability, and again, in tourism and carbon-free footprints, etc. Australia's always been a leader in that regard, and is there anything new you can add that we don't know already?
Oh, look, I think Australia, by natural selection, where we are geographically, we're an island nation. I think it's the world's oldest landmass, Gondwana land, and reason people come to this country, and you've sold travel yourself for a lot of years, is what's different about it. And what's different is, you know, the Great Barrier Reef and Uluru and these natural assets, our animals, you know, the wildlife in koalas and wombats and kangaroos and platypus. So if we don't preserve those things, we don't have an industry. So sustainability, being environmentally friendly, making sure these places look after is really core to us. So things like eco certification is very strong in Australia, but it's really about doing it for profitability. I think the big driver for us is how do we have a really high value tourism industry with relatively low numbers by world standards. We only get 6 million international visitors. I think they'll grow to 10 or 11 million over the next decade, but we want to see that our value doubles from 70 billion in overnight spending to 140 billion. So doubling of value without doubling the number of people who come. So very important to us.